If this was your email and you've been compromised in one of those past database breaches, that would be your password there for a hacker to go and try to use on RuneScape or your PayPal account or whatever else. The person I interviewed for this didn't want to come on mic. They don't primarily speak English, but they're really involved with gold farmers. Specifically, this guy, while he runs a couple bot farms himself, he's more involved with actually supplying gold farms with many high-level accounts. You know, people that are trying to farm bosses with bots like Vorkath, they come to him. We primarily talked about his two fields of expertise. Number one, getting high-level accounts to sell them. It's primarily done through hacking, and we go in depth about that. Number two, how these bot farms are avoiding bans. He knows a lot because not only does he run a bot farm, but he supplies all the bot farms. He even talks about what happens when Sir Pugger makes a video on one of these bot farms. Okay, real quick, if you could just hit that like button down there, that would help me more than anything else. But also, my girlfriend and I make RuneScape figurines out of hard plastic. We hand paint them. Everything's sold out since the last videos that I uploaded. Way too backed up on custom orders, but there is a few things for pre-order, including a large format gaming mouse pad that includes like a RuneScape villain artwork I commissioned. Really excited about that. There is also really smooth JADs for pre-order. I invested in a really expensive resin printer to make these, so the pre-order gives me time to get the printer, get them made, and get them painted, and also deal with current orders. There's only 20 of those available for pre-order. I don't know how fast they'll go, but I just don't want to get overwhelmed and take on too many. Thank you for the support. Okay, so the first thing that we talked about is how most of the bigger bot farms in RuneScape are using hacked accounts. They'll buy them in bulk, and there's primarily three benefits from this. Number one, they don't have to make the accounts themselves, right? That's a little bit less work, but number two, and more importantly, because the accounts were all originally created by real, different people, none of them look the same from Jagex's point of view, right? It's all different, so it's harder for Jagex to find all the accounts running on the same farm and ban them because all the accounts originally came from different places and different people. Now, before we talk about the third reason why bot farms are buying hacked accounts, I need to preface it with something. There's two types of accounts that are being sold by these account suppliers. Number one is very low level accounts, like basically no skills on them. Thousands of people make RuneScape accounts, never touch them again, and when these hackers are cracking these accounts, they stumble into thousands of these, and they sell them off really cheap, and if they get banned, the bot farm doesn't really care because they paid pennies for them. But these account suppliers also sometimes get lucky and they end up hacking accounts that have really high levels on them, and then they sell them for a big premium to people that want to run high level bot farms like Vorkath. And if those accounts get banned, it's a big loss to the bot farms, of course, so they want to do everything they can to minimize that loss. So here's where the third benefit comes in. They're abusing Jagex support. So they'll get one of these high level accounts, they'll bot on it, get it banned, and then they'll email Jagex from a completely separate email saying that their account has been hacked, their email has been hacked. They'll provide all the proof that they can, and sometimes Jagex will actually give the account back to them, transfer the ownership to their new email address, right, to the hacker's email address, thinking that it is really the original owner, and then at that point, there's no way that the original owner can get it back. He sent me a screenshot of one of these appeals. You might notice it's from April. That's when we originally did the interview. I've just been too busy painting figurines to get this thing out. Okay, so the mod starts off saying that the ban was for macroing, but here's where it gets crazy. He goes on to write, "The good news is I'm pleased to let you know that we identified a period of unusual activity around the time of the offense. And so we've removed any offenses which occurred during this time." And then, even worse, it goes on to do this. "It does appear that your account security may still be at risk. So as a precautionary measure, I have secured your account to prevent any unauthorized access." At this point, this hacker has gained full control of this account because it's been secured to his own credentials. So the original owner has completely lost the account. On top of that, and I want you to think about how insane this is, they originally bought it on this account. They were the unauthorized access. Now, they've gotten the account and their full ownership, and the ban has been squashed, so it's like a 2-for-1 deal. They get the bot on it again. He also told me that serious botters will have auto mule functions built into their scripts, and what this does is it'll take the accounts that are being botted on and go trade all the stuff that they farmed to like 1 or 2 singular accounts, and then the bot farmer goes on every single day to that one account that all the items have been muled to, and they just sell them off to a real world trader. That way, even if they get banned, they've already cashed out and they've made their money for the day. Now, regarding how they actually hack these accounts, they do it through a method known as cracking, and cracking happens to all sorts of really big platforms. People crack Netflix accounts, they crack Facebook accounts, they crack Minecraft accounts, and of course they're cracking RuneScape accounts. So how does it work? Well, they use software that's capable of trying like up to 300 logins every single second. From a separate person, I was able to get some footage of them actually running what they said was a primitive version of one of these RuneScape account crackers. He said that there's much more sophisticated ones out there. Really good multi-threaded software, and they're utilizing really good quality proxies. They feed this software big list of email addresses that have been leaked and compromised in database breaches from big sites like Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. All the big guys have been compromised. I managed to get my hands on some footage of inside of an illegal Russian-based website which illegally allows anybody to search these breached databases by email, username, keyword, whatever, and then see the associated compromised passwords in plain text. In the video I have, they're just searching for test@gmail.com, but imagine that that's your own email. For test@gmail.com, it shows that there's hundreds of results from hundreds of different databases exposing their password in plain text. If this was your email and you've been compromised in one of those past database breaches, that would be your password there for a hacker to go and try to use on RuneScape or your PayPal account or whatever else. They'll then do one of two things. They'll either compile a list of really common passwords and then have the software try each one of those really common passwords on each and every single email address to see if any are a valid account. Or they'll take the breach database list, and once the software finds a working account, it'll just make a little note of it. And once the cracker's done running the software for the day, they get a big list of accounts that they can then go through, and there's automated bots for this that will figure out the stats on them, if the bank's worth anything, and then from there they've got, a big categorized list of what accounts have what, and they'll go and sell them to these bot farms. At least that's what this guy's doing. Here's just an example of some accounts that he has sold in the past and how much they go for. So like an account that has 1,200 total level and about 80 in all the combat stats, sold for 35 million GP. Another account that basically has base 80 combat stats and nothing else that's really interesting, sold for 20 million GP. So to the gold farmers, this is like 20 or 30 bucks, but to the person who originally owned the account, this might be weeks worth of their playtime. Now, the profit doesn't just come from selling the accounts though. When they actually crack their way into one of these high-level accounts, oftentimes they have huge banks too. He sent me a couple screenshots. This one is 2 billion GP, and the other one is a 400 million GP bank. They're making a ton of money from just selling those items too. He told me that the most common accounts that people want to buy are just random accounts, any stats that have a little bit of membership left on them. This is for the people that are running suicide bots. They don't want to invest into a bond because it costs too much money and the account gets banned too quick, so they just want to get an account with like 7 days worth of membership on it maximum, cheaper than a bond, bot on it for a couple days, let it get banned and carry on. He told me at his peak he was supplying a person farming one of the really big bosses in game with about 30 accounts every single day. He had to shut down his entire operation and only supply this guy with accounts, and he was being paid 500 million GP a day to keep him supplied with accounts. Of course, every boss kind of requires like a different set of stats to be able to do it effectively, so he told me there's actually a community of people who crack accounts, and if you happen to get a buyer who only wants Bandos accounts, then you can go in that community and figure out like if somebody else has a buyer that only wants like Zora accounts. And then if you happen to crack an account that's really good for Zora, you'll go to that person and be like, hey, I got this really good Zora farming account. Do you have a Bandos account? Because I'll make a trade with you. That way I can sell your Bandos account to my guy, make some money. You can sell my Zora account to your guy and make some money, because otherwise we're not going to be able to sell these things. He also told me that the vast majority of information out there about botting and not getting banned is just a bunch of speculation that doesn't really work. He said, quote, "Botting isn't as easy as most people say. The first few days are easy and fun. You make some money, a couple easy mills, but once Jagex actually marks you as a gold farmer / botter, your luck will go down drastically." He went on to say that private and premium bots are almost a waste of money and that there's almost no difference between a free or a private script. He said really the only way that bot farmers are getting away without bans is finding a really unique method that nobody else is botting. And as long as none of those bots get reported, the accounts basically don't get banned for as long as they don't get reported. And this is because Jagex uses biometric data to compare accounts that are doing one method, like training runecrafting, to other accounts who are also training runecrafting in the same area. And if two accounts are playing with the same biometric data, you know you have bots. So if nobody ever reports the strange accounts that are out in the middle of the wilderness mining one weird obscure rock, then Jagex will never look at them and make that comparison. You know, for a while bots were on a big trend of making them have unique biometric data, so I asked him if spoofing that biometric data is actually useful. And he told me that it is, but honestly, the more important thing that these bot farmers are doing is just looking at the community and seeing if anybody's finding them like Sir Pugger and reporting them, and also trying to do things differently than what the other bot farmers are doing. He told me a few weeks ago when it came to muling, you wanted to do drop trades. Nobody was doing drop trades, so you want to drop your money and then pick it up on your mule, and that would be the way to do it without getting banned. But you know, a couple weeks on, everybody's doing the drop trading system now, so you want to just go ahead and trade it in the trade window straight on. Do the thing that most of the other bot farmers aren't doing. He said the smart big bot farmers, when they see a single person talking about their operation, they'll turn the whole thing off, find a new method, and move the farm over there. Because if they don't, they're risking getting all of their accounts chain banned. He actually told me about what happened when Sir Pugger did a video on his own bot farm. So this guy was running a bot farm at the range guild that would buy arrow tips, and Sir Pugger exposed it in a video. And the next day, apparently there was hundreds of more bots there, copycats, doing it, trying to make some money. And then after another day, all of the accounts were gone. He said that now if you try to run a bot that'll buy arrow tips at the ranging guild, you get banned within a day. Whereas before you could literally run them for weeks without any problem. And anyways, that concludes the interview. Thank you all so much for watching. We're also coming up on 50,000 subscribers. That blows my mind. Thank you so much. By the way, if you want to support me and my channel, my girlfriend and I make RuneScape figurines out of hard plastic. Everything's currently sold out because I'm super backed up on custom orders from when I last uploaded. So the only things on there right now are for pre-order or the nice tree air fresheners. But I got a really cool mouse pad on the way. Custom RuneScape fan art that's basically like about a scam alley in RuneScape, and also Jads, which are going to be super smooth. They'll start shipping hopefully towards the end of July. Getting a new resin printer for those, so that gives me time to make them and paint them, and they're going to be super smooth, and I'm really excited for that. The Jad pre-orders are limited, by the way. There's only 20 of them. I don't know how fast they'll sell, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. So once the pre-orders are gone, I won't be selling them again until I'm actually printing them and painting them and all caught up with those pre-orders. Link is in the description. Until next time guys, love, peace, and chicken grease.